then we can talk.
Okay,
if you're not defending Israel, then there's no conversation.
Can I start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if we're both just agreeing, there's not much for an audience to feed on anyway. So a bit of healthy dialect is probably a good thing. Yeah. So
Look. If you want, what is the conversation about?
This conversation started with me walking up to Adnan and saying, "I think what."
And then you gave the mic to the lady, an Israeli IDF soldier to be, an IDF soldier to be.
You asked me to give it to her, yes? The mic. He asked me, and it's his mic, so I did it.
So are you going to defend Israel?
I'm gonna. Can I talk for a minute?
Okay.
If
Look,
the only question is, am I in any way going to defend Israel, and I'm not allowed to say anything which doesn't totally agree with you, we're not going to have a discussion.
Yes.
Can we try and have a discussion?
Okay, go ahead.
Fine. This started with me walking up to you and saying, I think what the IDF are doing in Gaza is appalling. Okay?
Yeah.
I said that. Is that pretty clear?
Yeah. So we agree. We shake hands on
that. No, it
that.
doesn't mean we agree on every aspect of every diagnostic, but we can agree thus far. I think
that's all I need to hear.
Okay, fine. Well, I don't think it's.
I'm not discussing the details.
Okay, so we can put
the details. Let's start with the beginning. Palestine is occupied territory. Do you agree? Wait.
In principle, look, hang on.
What do you mean in principle?
Wait.
What do you? Okay.
Wait, can I caveat?
Palestine is occupied territory.
Can I talk and then I'll answer the question?
By all United Nations resolutions against Israel.
Gentlemen.
Okay, there are human rights organizations.
Adnan,
not.
You have to let me
You're
start.
giving your premise.
Give me a second, okay?
It's a question.
I need
okay,
to
my question.
introduce this by pointing out I don't claim to be an expert on these facts, and I don't want to misrepresent.
Then why are you talking to me? I'm not an expert.
No, but I'm not an expert, but nonetheless, I can say with confidence that what they're doing in Gaza is appalling.
Is Palestine occupied territory?
Yes.
Given I don't understand enough facts, I think it is, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay? Because of my lack of knowledge,
you're not.
which I'm owning.
Are you that ill informed? Are you that?
Okay.
Ignorant of basic facts?
Then let's discuss. I may be. So I'm only.
You want to talk? I mean, earlier when I questioned you about the genocide, you said it is appalling.
Correct.
But I want to discuss the.
I want to discuss the way forward.
No. You said I want to discuss. I want to discuss. But
what is the best way of resolving this from everybody's point of view?
Is Palestine occupied territory?
I believe so, but I don't know enough facts.
Okay.
Wait, stop cutting me off.
I'm not talking about the details. I'm not saying how many inches, how many acres, how many kilometers. I'm talking about a basic fact. Is Palestine occupied territory?
And I've claimed, due to my ignorance,
is Palestine occupied territory?
Okay. He doesn't want to do a debate.
Is Palestine occupied territory?
To continue, I have said, given my limited knowledge, I think so, but I don't want to make out.
You're not clear. You're not clear.
I'm not
so that's
clear.
the first point we need to discuss.
Because
Before you get to IDF, before you get to the genocide, we need to discuss what is going on in this land. Okay. Let's start from the beginning. Is Palestine occupied territory? We're going to discuss that point.
Let's try this. Let's have a clock, 2 minutes each, and then we can actually have a
No.
dialogue.
I want to have a fruitful, targeted discussion. Is Palestine occupied territory?
2 minutes each.
Listen, why is it are you a Christian?
I'm not answering any more questions. Let's just
Are you
take
Christian?
2 minutes each.
Christians are supposed to be merciful. They are supposed to be just. They are supposed to be good followers of Christ, right? No, I mean, look, we can.
I give him time to
100%.
talk. He gives me time to talk. Would you like to hear?
I would like to hear what you have to say, and I would like to hear your.
And I would like to discuss, is Palestine an occupied territory?
Okay,
that's the topic.
Okay, what I am trying to do is make as many.
Okay, 1 minute. Is Palestine?
No, you don't get to dictate the question in my 2 minutes.
I get the same time. I get the same time. 1 minute each. 1 minute.
2 minutes. Has anyone got a clock?
Is Palestine occupied territory?
I'm not choosing to use my 2 minutes.
Is Palestine occupied territory?
Who's having the first 2 minutes?
Is this, this flag? It's from Palestine. Okay. Is it occupied territory? That's the point I want to discuss. Because once we discuss this point, everything else will become clear why the genocide is taking place today. So that's the topic of discussion, okay?
No, that's not the topic.
What are you discussing then?
My topic of discussion
is what?
What is the best outcome that could be got from the solution? This is what the eye should be on the board. What is the best solution to the people of Palestine and the people of Israel?
Very good. How do we discuss the solution if we don't agree on the causes of the conflict?
I suggest that when we're discussing it, we try and at least make as many statements we can agree on before we start disagreeing. We find out what common ground we have.
Our solution will come back to the cause of the problem.
I agree.
Remove the cause, and there won't be effect. Okay, remove the cause. The cause is occupation. Israel is an occupying power, is a Western occupying power, backed by the Western governments, backed by the Christian right, backed by the Bible bashers in the American South. Okay, the Zionist Christians, backed by the British ruling establishment, not the people. The people don't want this.
No discussion.
Okay.
No discussion.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
discussion. 2 minutes each. Someone get a clock.
So let's go to the cause. The cause is occupation.
No,
I'm arguing the cause is
I'm
the
going-
occupation.
Who's talking first?
What?
You got a clock.
And what are we discussing? Yes, that's very
We're
important.
discussing. I have made it clear. I think the thing everybody should keep their eye on is how do you resolve this best. Okay, we need to agree on the question at least.
Do you
but
agree, sir?
here's one thing we agree on. We agree, I think, that what Israel is doing in Gaza at the moment is appalling. Okay? I'd like to see the people of Palestine get a better deal. I think that you're being diverted in these debates into questions of is it genocide, is it terrorism, this and that, and you can spend hours debating that and it deflects from, it doesn't matter. As long as what's happening is appalling.
It deflects from the main
Can I
problem.
finish?
I agree.
As long as you agree.
What is the main problem?
If you
It deflects from the main problem.
yeah.
What is the main problem?
The main problem is if we can agree that what Israel is doing there, I think, is appalling. That's enough.
No. This is
actually trying to help with
this is a symptom. What you're discussing is an outcome. We're discussing the cause. What is the main problem? What is causing all of this? What is causing all of this?
What is causing this is a
Yeah.
very, I think, complex.
Complex. Complex.
Can I finish? Are we on 2 minutes? Very simple. Whose clock are we on? Okay, if I'm going to talk.
You know-
hang on, wait. I have already said. Okay.
You're
Tell me
talking.
when I got
You're
2
talking
minutes.
like you're talking like a politician, now, a British politician.
Whenever I'm talking, I just let
Things are very complex. We really have to look
Give
at the
me-
nuances.
give me-
We really have to get into the nitty-gritties,
The idea
and
of
we
share-
really
the
have
idea
to
of
complicate
share-
things so
Yeah.
people don't
The
understand.
idea- look,
I am trying to avoid that.
made a very-
I'm trying to get straight to the crux.
Great. Well, we'll do that better if we have a conversation. We'll do that better if we share.
Yeah.
Okay.
This bullshit, innit?
Okay. My interest.
Why is
My interest.
That's straight, innit? Yeah, you know me?
My-
That's straight for all people, innit? Not talk ish. Oh, I talk bullshit, innit? You know me? Yeah, no, this no right. This guy no right.
Okay, let him make his noise and he will go. Let him make his noise.
Why? These people.
Just go away, and he will follow you. Okay.
That's not getting a man away. I'm
Okay.
sorry. That's not okay. Stop it.
Okay. So back to our conversation.
One of us is on the clock.
I want to talk about the causes. Do you agree?
You want to talk about the causes?
Yeah.
Actually, no. I think I want to talk about solutions, and I think you understand.
Solutions are directly linked to the causes.
I agree. Solutions and causes are linked, but I think we need to
Yes.
go around the
So
board.
what are the causes?
When you start micromanaging discussions about is it terrorism? If we all agree it's
I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that. Once we establish the cause, everything will become clear. What's the cause? We need to. What's the cause of the conflict? There have been mass murders, genocides, massacres, Jenin, and we have so many Nakaba. Children and women have been killed, raped, jailed, brutalized, children shot in the head by Israeli soldiers, IDF. All of this, what is causing it? What is causing it?
When do I get to respond?
You want to respond to what?
Well, number
I'm
one,
asking what is
you
the
are
cause?
dictating the question. Okay, I will address both questions.
Okay.
Your key question is what is the cause?
Yes.
And I think it's obviously a relevant question. I'm not disputing that. Of course,
So let's discuss
understanding causes. I think a second, and I think more important question is what's the goddamn solution? Okay? Can we address both of those questions?
Yeah, let's discuss the cause first.
Okay, with regard to cause, I've already said, unfortunately, my area is like ethics, teleology, metaphysics. That's my primary interest. I'm not.
But then when you get to the solution, no. When he gets to the solution, he becomes a political scientist.
Wait, no.
But when we discuss the cause, you are everything but a political scientist. Okay, but when it comes to the solution, you become a geopolitician.
I'm claiming I may be ignorant of facts that other people know.
So
better
you
than
cannot
me.
discuss the
And
solution.
I can.
Sorry.
I'm just
You cannot. You're not qualified.
Hang on. No,
Yeah.
I'm not qualified to discuss facts
The so-
in the way that probably other people are.
But how are you qualified to discuss the solution?
I am qualified to discuss ethics and methodology and objectivity and self-consistency and principles that should be brought to bear.
I
to any
appreciate that.
discussion,
I
including
appreciate
politics,
that. I
okay?
appreciate that.
Now, my heart essentially thinks the Palestinians had a bad deal, and what the IDF are doing in Israel is appalling. Okay? Does that make my position broadly clear? Okay?
It makes it very, very, I mean, how can I put it? The language you are using is very light. You, as if,
I'm
as
sorry
if,
it's
as
light,
if, as I mean, as
What
you know,
part this come-
calling
what do I
calling
have to say
calling a
in order to-
genocide of 20,000 children is not only appalling,
The word appalling
is
to me
is
is
disgusting.
Okay, it's
It
appalling and
is
disgusting.
barbaric.
Fine, it's barbaric.
It is
Right.
absolutely.
Appalling to me is all of that. Okay. So if we can agree it's appalling, can we move on? We
So
need solutions,
let's discuss
okay?
what's causing it.
What's called solutions. I suggest for solutions.
We
We'll do
cannot
both.
discuss the solution
cause-
without the cause.
We're going to do both. So we're going to do both.
Okay, let's discuss the cause first.
Okay, we'll interface. When it comes to the causes, because I'm more ignorant of facts, I'm under the illusion the key.
Okay, brothers, thank you so much.
What?
I don't think so. Well, there's no conversation here.
Well, I'm just about to
Because
start.
you're not honest. You're not honest about the problems. Okay, who's
I'm about
Mike's,
to talk about
Mike's,
the
Mike's,
causes.
Mike's. Guys,
You're running away.
I'm running away, yeah. I'm running away from waste of time.
You're totally
It's
running
Ramadan
away.
and I'm
You're
fasting.
asking me
I'd
the
rather
causes,
spend my
and
time
I
on
just
something
said-
more fruitful.
You're asking me
Because-
the causes, and I'm about to say what they are. You really?
There's more, there's more.
You're
Sorry.
just running away. The causes seem to pivot on 1948.
Oh my God.
Seem to pivot
Where?
on 1948.
Hello, guys. Where have you been putting all the mics?
Declaration of the State of Israel in 1948. To be 1948, the establishment of the
So how
State
come
of
he just
Israel.
became a? How is it? Wait. He just became an expert on history. Wait. He just made a statement that the cause. I mean, why couldn't you say that before?
Because
Why? Okay. Why couldn't you? Now I'm gonna have to.
Because I'm being honest and I'm trying. You're not
Listen.
used to debating people who are trying to be honest. I'm actually more on your
No,
side
you're not
than their
honest.
side.
I don't believe you're honest. Because if you're honest,
Okay.
you would have no
You guys can
hesitation
judge.
in
You
saying
guys
what you
can
just
judge.
said.
No.
What did you say? What did you say?
If I know I don't know my facts, then I can't be.
You don't know that
is.
you don't know that Zionists came in. You don't know that Zionists came into Palestine and took the land.
You want to know what I believe? I'm telling
Yeah.
you what I believe.
Yeah.
I believe in my potential ignorance that this pivots on 1948, that there was a mass immigration of Jews unfairly into Palestine, which displaced about 750,000 Arabs
Now we're
in
talking.
the Nakba.
Yes.
Okay? This is my understanding. If you hadn't spent 10
Well,
minutes interrupting
amazingly,
me, I
you
was
just
trying
stated
to-
facts.
I was just trying to.
And this is what I was trying to get out of you for the last 15 minutes.
If you didn't keep interrupting, I would have got that out
Okay,
of my mouth
brilliant.
10 minutes ago.
Well, I forgot your name.
I'm caveating it by saying I'm not claiming that I'm expert on these facts and I may have.
You don't need to be an
misunderstood
expert.
them. If I talk to a Jewish person, they will tell me, no, mate, you don't know your facts.
Okay.
And I don't know some. If I talk to some.
If you
people,
talk to a Zionist,
If I talk
yeah.
to some commentators, so I can't immediately go, hey, you're full of it. I've got to listen to everybody.
If you
They will tell me I
talk
don't
to
know
an
my
ISIS
facts.
terrorist and ask him to explain their perspective on war, and then you decide to believe their perspective, are you justified in believing their
I'm gonna
perspective?
listen
Just
to-
like
I'm
talking to
gonna
Zionists about the conflict in Palestine, and then you decide to believe their perspective. Is that fair?
I'll tell you how I'm valuing conversations. I want to know how self-consistent is somebody being, how ethical are they being, and how objective are they being.
Right.
That's
Okay.
what I want to know. And I know that I don't know enough facts about this to be totally sure.
Okay.
But my best
Let's-
guess
let's-
is
let's
it's
discuss.
48, it's the Nakba, it's displacement,
What's your name?
it's expansion of
What's your name?
settlements
What's your name? I
against
forgot your name.
UN
I forgot your
law
name.
and all of that stuff. I'm
What's his
basically
name?
buying it, Tony. I'm
What's-
basically buying into that narrative.
Tony.
Okay?
Tony.
Now, what you need to understand.
Tony.
What you need to understand is, this year, uniquely worldwide, half of the populations of the world are voting to re-elect governments. Okay, 4 billion people, coincidentally, all get to re-elect. America's not the only election.
It's the greatest sham in human history.
Okay, whatever it is, there's going to be
It's the greatest sham.
a potential massive sea change, and most of us are laymen, our 4 billion, and we can't be experts on all facts. We've got to make some decisions. So we've got to Occam's razor cut through a lot of the small print to the bigger picture. So if I make a basic assertion like what's happening in Gaza seems appalling, for about 4 billion people, that's the sentence I think they can gestate and work with. If I say you've got to read that book, know this fact, and you're an idiot because I know more than you, I'll alienate them, and I want them on board. So I'm trying to use simple language and cut straight through, hopefully to help the Palestinian people. I've been walking around with information against Ben Shapiro and that lot, and Douglas Murray and whatever, quite some time, and an opportunity to quote it. Because the minute I open my mouth, people assume that I'm fucking Zionist for some reason, and I'm not. However, I'm not so anti-Israel that I can't see an argument for a two-state solution. Okay? Now you know.
Okay. So when you say two-state solution, you want the Zionists. You want the Zionists to have
I don't like
a
Zionists.
pie.
I don't
Yeah,
like
Zionists. These are guys. They're Zionists. The Israeli government is Zionist. What do you mean? You're gonna close your
I
eyes?
don't like Netanyahu. Netanyahu is clearly.
I'm not
bad
talking
news.
about Netanyahu. I'm
Well,
saying
you-
it's the Israeli government and the state of Israel is a Zionist state. Is a Zionist state.
I'm not pro-Zionist.
The state of Israel.
I'm not pro-Zionist. I
Okay.
am
So you are, when you say you want the Zionists to rule territory
say that.
in the Middle
I
East,
didn't say
you are
that.
against peace.
I didn't say that.
Okay, we're not talking about the Jewish people here, by the way. Jewish people, we have no problem with the Jewish people. The Jewish people lived with the Muslims for over 1,000 years. We protected the Muslim civilization, protected the Jewish people for over 1,000 years. I've done podcasts. I've done a lot of stuff with this on through evidence. I've presented evidence where the Jewish rabbis, Jewish intellectuals, and leaders themselves testify to the fact that the Jews experienced the golden age under the rule of Islam, in Al-Andalus in particular, in Spain, from 900 to 1200 for three. So this is not a question about the Jewish people. This is a small group of extremists, terrorists, and genocidal maniacs. We're talking about them. Those people who have been committing genocides.
I made a simple
Yeah,
assertion.
yeah.
I'm in favour of a two-state
Decide
solution.
when the
I
Mongols
think-
look like a tea
Because
party.
I think-
Which means
Can I
giving
finish? Because
giving
I
the
think-
land of Palestine to
because-
Zionists.
Because I think look, I
That's what
think-
it means, right?
Can I finish?
Yeah.
I've been on pro-Palestinian marches for about 30 years. Okay, that's where my heart's been. When
I'm not racist. I have a black wife. This is it's like talking
You
like
just
that.
keep slagging
Yeah,
me the second
yeah,
I
no,
say
no, no,
anything
no,
with prejudice.
yeah.
And your viewers can decide
Listen, the way you're
realistically.
talking,
Can I finish? Can I finish?
you just said
I
you
have
want a
been
state
on-
for the
I
Zionists.
have been on-
You just said you
I
want a
said-
state.
I am saying I've been on pro-Palestinian marches for 30 years.
You want a state for the Zionists?
The understanding during that was that we were marching for a two-state solution.
Which is what?
In accord with
Can you explain it, please?
In accord with the United Nations laws, yeah? Because I would support those laws and their indictments of Israel for expansions of settlements.
But the Israelis don't believe in those laws.
Fine, they don't, and I disagree with them.
And
because
you want a state for
I'm
them.
with the UN.
You want a state for the Zionists.
I think that
They are breaking all laws. They're not following any regulations, any resolutions. They don't care about you and me. They don't give two hoots
do not-
about what the world thinks of them.
I want it for
That's
the-
why they still send rockets to
I don't-
children.
I'm not-
They are sending rockets to
I am
children.
not saying I'm pro-Zionist. You're adding that.
You are.
Watch the tape back.
Okay.
I say I want a two-state solution.
For who?
You say
For
I
who?
support
Okay, two
Zionism.
states for who? Who?
Jewish
Who?
people and Palestinians.
This is not a question about Jewish people.
Israelis. Give
No,
me a name.
Zionists.
No, Israelis.
Zionists.
Israelis.
Zionists.
Israelis.
They are Zionists.
They're not all Zionists.
How do I
now-
how do I talk to someone like that? He is now an expert.
Okay,
He's now an expert in
okay,
history.
I think I can say this with some confidence. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, not everybody in Israel supports Netanyahu.
If
There's
ISIS,
a chunk of about
if ISIS, if look, if I was standing here today, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, if I was standing here today, and if I
That's what I'm
claimed,
saying.
look,
So I support the people in
look,
Israel who
look,
are
if-
anti-Netanyahu.
guys,
Is that clear?
why, well, brothers, one second. I want to draw a parallel.
Define Zionism
I
for me. I'm
want,
basically
wait.
anti-Zionist.
I'm going to do that for you. Why, wait. If I stood here today,
It's really hard to be on your side. Do you realize I'm
If-
basically on your team? Can you imagine what it's like?
you're
to be
not on our team if
No,
you're
I
talking
am.
like this.
No, I am.
I'll
Unless
tell you,
I
because
one
you are
state
part of the problem. You're part of the problem. I'll tell you why. If I stood here today and I said half of Iraq should be given back to ISIS and give Mosul as the capital, okay, give half of Syria to ISIS and the other half to the Iraqi people and the other half of Syria to Bashar al-Assad, what would you think of me? And it's a two-state solution, by the way, yeah? To establish peace, let's have peace in the Middle East. Give ISIS a chunk. Give them a chunk. As mass murdering barbarians as they are, as extreme as they are, as genocidal maniacs as they are, as much as all these things they are, give them a chunk. what would you think of me? I'm asking an honest question. Why is it that when
Right,
people
so
like
we
this
know
talk
where we
about,
disagree.
why is it that when people like this talk about the Zionists owning territory in the Middle
I'm
East?
not pro-Zionist.
Because when they say two-state solution, they mean the Zionists
There
ruling
always was.
occupied land from.
There always was a proposed two-state solution with withdrawal.
I don't care.
With
I don't care
withdrawal
if
from the occupied settlements.
if
Yeah.
for 500
Right
years
of
people
return.
argue give land to ISIS. I'm going to disagree with that. I'm not going to propagate that.
How many
I'm not
of the
going to
things you
advocate
want
that.
do I have
You
to
are.
agree with
You
before
are.
You trying to
You are.
slander me.
Okay. Wait.
I agree
Tony.
with the right of return. I agree that the Nakba was wrong. I agree that what's happening with the identity
And you also
is appalling.
agree that the Zionists
All
should
I'm
rule.
saying is when
You also agreeing the Zionists should
You'll
rule
know when you
territory
let
in
me.
Palestine, right?
I agree with two-state. I think a two-state solution.
What does that mean?
Two-state solution.
Practically, what does that mean?
Some of the land is owned by what I'll call
Zionists.
Israelis. No, not Zionists.
Zionists.
No,
Zionists.
Israelis.
Zionists. There is no such thing as Israelis. This is a Zionist state of Israel. It is a Zionist state of Israel.
All Israelis subscribe to Zionism.
You see,
Is that your claim?
that's the problem with the world. The problem with the world is people think like this.
I'm
They
under the
think
illusion
that
not all
you can make
Israelis
statements
are
without
Zionists.
meaning. Without meaning. He's saying, I believe in the two-state solution.
Yeah.
I'm asking him, what does it actually mean
And I'm
practically
telling you,
for the
two states.
Palestinians?
And I'm telling you, Palestine owns and is recognized in international law, which should have happened 70
If
years
another group
which
of
should
Jewish
have happened
people,
70 years ago, according to the international law, which I support. The fact that Israel,
if the international law is wrong, it's wrong.
No, international law was correct.
If the
Palestinians should have been given a state about 70
If the
years
international
ago,
community comes to me and says to me, give land to ISIS, shall we do it?
What?
Simple question. If the international community decides today, if the United Nations decide today that we should give half of Iraq to ISIS, would you agree? Give me an honest answer.
Because I'm
No,
because
no,
I'm dislike
no,
ISIS.
no, because
What that proves-
either
so what
either
what that shows
is it because
that
because
not
the Zionists are
not
white?
every-
Is it because the
not
Zionists are
every
white?
piece of-
Is it
actually,
because
no,
the Zionists
I
are
can talk
white?
to anybody, yeah, it's because I'm just racist. You know,
No,
that's
no,
me. I just come
I'm
here and
just
talk like
trying
this
to-
because I'm just a racist, bigot.
No, is it
I'm
because-
a stupid, simple-minded guy who's totally against your position, who's got no sympathy with Israel Palestine. It's really obvious from everything I've said
Tony,
about the Nakba
Tony,
being bad,
Tony,
the
you're
right
not
to
making
return.
sense.
I think
You
I'm
wouldn't
making
give
sense.
land to
What?
ISIS, but you would give land to
The
Zionists.
people, no, because
Yes, you do. You would. You would give
Okay,
land to Zionists.
Let me be clear.
Yeah.
Okay, can I be clear? Your argument predicates on the assumption.
Would you give land to
which may
Nazis?
Or may not be true,
Would you argue for
that
the return of
all
Nazis to Germany?
Israelis are Zionists.
If United Nations decides give half of Germany to Nazis, would you agree? No.
I am in favour of the Palestinian people having a recognised state, and I'm in favour of what I will call the Israeli people for now having a non-Zionist recognised state. Okay?
But that doesn't exist. That entity doesn't exist.
so-
You're just making things up.
No. Okay, great.
There is no candidate in Palestine that is called non-Zionist Israeli Jews
they're all
for independent Palestine.
Okay.
It doesn't agree.
Okay, then
It
right,
doesn't.
then
It doesn't
then
exist.
Maybe we can't agree. So there's no hope in your eyes for a two-state solution because every Israeli is inevitably a
No.
Zionist.
I'm asking.
And all Zionists
Tony,
are wrong, so
I'm
we can only
sincerely
have a
trying to
one-state
understand.
solution.
Tony.
So now describe to me how this one-state solution works. Because what I see is, if you take all the Palestinian, maybe I'm stupid, if you take all the Palestinian people right now, and you take all the Israeli people now, and you put them into one state, I've got a crazy idea that whoever's got the majority there will abuse the minority, okay? Now, maybe that means that you'll
That's
end
not
up
true.
with- maybe
That's
you'll
a
end up
lie.
with more
That's
of
a lie.
Oh, you don't think
That's
the
a
Israelis-
lie.
you don't think the Israelis-
Muslims ruled this territory for over Muslims ruled Palestine for over 1,000 years, and there were Jewish people living, thriving, prospering, and
I'm
everything.
not querying any of that. What I said.
Go and watch my.
Play back
You need
what
to
I
watch
said.
my.
Play
You need
back-
to watch my
play
vlog
back
with
what I
Muhammad
said.
Hijab on this topic.
Okay, play back what I said. What I said was, whoever ends up being the majority will abuse that minority. Now,
That's
you're
true- that's
saying
wrong.
He's half.
That's
wait,
wrong.
wait, you guys are not diligent in your thinking.
This is wrong.
He half-
You are.
Play it back and listen.
You
He is not listening to the question.
You are very slimy and
he
slithery.
No, I'm just.
You're very slimy.
He half answered.
Very, very slimy.
He half answered it. What he answered was
Tony,
What
Tony,
he answered was
Tony.
if the Muslims are the majority, they won't abuse the Jews.
Tony.
Fine, let's assume I accept that. But
No, no, no,
I
no.
put it to you that if
Let
the Jews
challenge
were the
me on
majority,
that.
they would have
I
been
will.
killed.
I
You
will
disagree?
present evidence that
You
the Jewish
disagree with
people.
that. You didn't even hear what
Okay,
I said.
okay. I heard you.
God, what did I say?
Okay.
I'm of the opinion
I'm a historian.
that if you end up in a state with a majority is Jewish government in one state, that they will likely end up abusing them. I think that's true. I think you think that's true.
No.
No,
Oh, you think they'll
no,
treat you well?
no.
You think they'll
You're
treat
making
you
things
well?
up. You're not making sense.
Okay, fine.
And the more you're talking, the more you're making a mockery of yourself.
don't-
Okay, I'll
you
tell you
don't
why.
think you can say
Because
yes,
because you're not
yes,
making
yes,
sense. You're not consistent,
they'll treat
and
you
you are
great.
supposed to be an expert on ethics and consistency. What was that called? Your field? Consistent, being ethical, being ethically
I think
consistent.
it's consistent
being-
to think that if two groups of people
No, wait.
hate each
Wait.
other as much as these two groups hate one another
No,
right
Zionists-
now, if
Zionists-
tomorrow I
Zi-
put all those
No.
people in the same place,
Why don't you
and you end
argue?
up with an Israeli
Why don't you
majority,
argue?
I think the Arabs are going to
Why don't you argue the same for ISIS and Nazis? Why don't you argue the same for ISIS and there are neo-Nazis in Germany. There are neo-Nazis who want the revival of Nazism.
Okay, you know what?
There are neo-Nazis in Britain. There are neo-Nazis in Poland. There are neo-Nazis all over Europe. Okay, they want the revival of a fascist Nazi. And if they manage to take some land, people like this would argue, oh, leave this land with them. They are Nazis. They are genocidal. They are holocausting. They are
Explain to
holocausting.
me the merits of a one-state solution.
Sorry.
I said that we should keep our
Okay,
on the
brilliant. Now we're
solution.
talking.
Explain
Okay.
to me the merits. I think I'll
We
tell you-
want-
wait,
we want a
hang on.
government-
The merits of a two-state solution is you don't immediately kill each other. That's what I think might be an advantage.
No, ISIS,
Right now, the two
Nazis,
sides hate each other. I
ISIS
think
and
that's
Nazis,
reasonable.
same
Now,
logic,
what's the advantage of
same
a
logic,
one-state solution?
same logic.
What?
Same logic applies. That you want to give a piece of land in Palestine to the Zionists, a genocidal, apartheid, racist, mass murdering entity. You are arguing when you say two-state solution. When you say two-state solution, you are arguing for the land of Palestine, a big chunk of it, to be given to an entity that has blood of millions of people on its hands.
I buy the blood.
Okay.
I buy
Okay.
the blood thing. I'm
Okay.
not arguing with the blood thing.
So you
I
want to give the
argue-
land to them.
Let me explain why.
And that's it.
Let
Our
me-
discussion is
let me
over.
explain, right.
Yeah.
If any of you are interested in why I think that might be, there's an argument for this. Okay. I don't think it's for any of the reasons that most of the Jews give you, the Israelis give you.
We're not discussing the Jewish people.
Excuse me, if I can talk for a minute.
We're not discussing
I
the
am
Jewish people.
discussing
It's
as
not
well.
a question about the Jewish people.
Okay,
It's
I'm
about
telling
an
you-
extremist
I am
entity.
telling you
Yeah.
my logic for this, okay? If you let me explain.
Secular,
it,
extremist,
and it is not-
atheistic, godless entity.
You can hear the
Yeah.
guy interrupt like crazy.
Yeah.
I'm giving you my reason why I think this is the case.
Yeah.
If it was 1948 and someone asked me, should the Israelis be given that land? If I was in charge, I would say no. They need a land, but not those. Okay?
But the British did.
Okay.
The British
I'm
colonial.
not the British. I'm just arguing for my.
But you are British.
Okay.
So are we. We are
I'm
also
not
British.
responsible for decisions that people made.
We
who are
all-
not me
we all have
who
blood on
can,
our hands.
Okay. So if it were 1948,
Astaghfirullah.
I would go no. And I believe Marshall said this to Truman. Marshall said to Truman, if you give the Israelis this set of land, it's going to create a whole lot of trouble.
So how come you know so much history and earlier
I
you...
know a bit. I know a bit.
The
Okay?
history...
Because I try to be modest. I do
The history is
some
coming
I
out.
do some research.
Amazing.
I watch.
So you're not that simple, are you?
Hang on.
You're not that simple,
No,
are you?
but I'm not as much of an expert as a bunch of people. You might like.
Hello.
If you put me next to
I
Finkelstein,
didn't
he
ask
knows
you to be a
nothing.
PhD doctor
Okay.
on the geopolitics
just
or the
trying-
history of Palestine.
I'm just trying to be honest and a little bit humble about the potential limitations of my knowledge.
But this
Okay?
humility
That's
is
all.
actually drowning you.
Maybe. Okay, well, I prefer to have too much humility than too much hubris, okay?
Yeah.
So anyway, if it was 48, given my limited understanding, I would go, maybe we shouldn't have a state of Israel here, but they need one. Holocaust, they've been picked on too much, they need somewhere safe. And the internet, I know, I'm not, so just not there. That's the worst place to go, okay? Now, my logic, and you won't hear this from many people, my logic for why maybe there should be two states now is not for the usual reasons you'll hear from Israelis, which are usually, number one, God gave us the land, and my answer is, I don't give a shit about the magic man in the sky. This is a secular real estate problem. We can't do international politics based on any people going, our God gave us it. So that can go. The second argument you'll hear them use that can also go is 3,000 years ago, blah, 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 blah. And again, I'm just not interested because we can't do international politics based on shit that happened 3,000 years ago. Because if we did, we'd have to give America back to the Indians, we'd have to give Britain back to the Celts, We'd have to give Australia back to the Aborigines. Okay, there'd be a whole lot of. It's not reasonable. We need.
Why is that not reasonable?
Well, maybe it is.
Well, if
okay,
people, hello,
okay, hang on. You may have a point. Maybe
you're talking like a colonial officer now.
Okay, wait.
You're talking like a colonial settler
So I'll backtrack.
who went and took the land from the Native Americans.
Adnan has a good point.
Yeah.
My only claim is to be consistent. Maybe we should give it back. All we've got to do is be consistent. Okay. So in the interest of consistency in international law, we need statutes of limitations. The third thing that you'll hear them argue is, well, when we got the land, we cultivated it in a way the Arabs didn't. And that's a bullshit argument, because that's like me saying, well, if I go and buy a car and then I don't wash it properly and you come by and nick it, and then you go, mate, I've got a butler who cleans my car, cleans your car better. That's not the deal.
Tony, cut to the chase. What is it you're saying?
Arguments you should use against them, because you guys spend too much time.
I know what to use against them.
Right,
I'm already using that. I'm using history.
Can I finish?
They are occupiers.
Okay, can I finish?
They're occupiers.
So when you're debating, just cut through the shit. Don't give me the gods shit. Don't give me the 3,000 years shit. Don't give me the stuff about the red car that I look after better, because that's not how private property works. If I buy a car, it's up to me if I want to clean it. You don't get to steal it.
What are you talking about, man?
So now, the reason I do think they have a claim, I prepped you on how I got here.
They have a claim for what?
To be there
the
now,
Zionists.
Forget, I'm not using the word Zionists.
Why not?
Israelis.
Because we're dealing with Zionists.
Okay, you say we are.
Well, that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the Zionists. We're not dealing with the Jewish people. We're not dealing with the Jewish people.
You want to know my logic? I'm telling you.
Yeah.
In 1948, should they have the land? I think no. It's just conflict and stupidity.
That's a game over. Yeah, they
Can
shouldn't
I
have the land. They should give the land back to the
Can I
Palestinians.
finish?
Okay, guys.
However, if I think
this is not going anywhere.
has lived in a place for the whole of their life and they didn't choose to get born there,
Take all these
at
devices
that point, they have a potential ethical claim to that land. That is a statute of limitations.
Do Ukrainians have the right to capture the land that's stolen
For the same reason the Palestinians should get the land back that they were kicked out of in the Nakba, because they were born
Make sure you
there.
give the mic back.
For that same reason,
Like the world's biggest oxymoron. Yeah, Jewish state without their Zionism. Well done. Okay, so well done. Give us book of records.
Do you believe Ukrainians have the right to capture back their land that's taken now by Putin? The Ukrainians. Like the Donbass and the regions that's taken by
I
Putin.
don't know enough about the facts. My instinct is what's Putin's motivation? Is it imperial?
Whatever his motivation.
Not the motivation.
He took the land now from Ukraine, right? He took some